fantastic ice-breaking machine here on the Great Lakes. And of course, we're very concerned about the very cold, brutally cold winter that we've had this year. And so the Coast Guard has really been on the scene all this time, and they're getting ready for the spring, which is coming. And then with the thaw of the ice and how they're able to maintain the commercial shipping lanes. Of course, the commercial shipping is such a critical component of the economic engine that drives not just Michigan, but the entire Great Lakes basin here. And so we've joined on a regularly scheduled ice-breaking mission, Captain Commander Kimura on the Hollyhock, and had an opportunity to talk to some of the very brave and fantastic coasties that serve the United States Coast Guard so well here in the Port Huron sector, and again through the Great Lakes. And I'd like to have the commander just tell us a little bit about what the mission is today and what we're doing here, and what the folks are able to see in the background.
Thank you for being aboard today, Congresswoman. We're southbound in Lake Huron in what we call Lake Huron Cut, which is where Lake Huron empties into the St. Clair River. And this is a major shipping lane that connects Lake Huron to Lake Erie. We're currently underway doing some ice breaking. There's a previously established track, as you can see here, and we're just refreshing that track in anticipation for several commercial vessels that should be sailing through here this weekend. Ice conditions, we're looking at 8 to 10 inches of refrozen brash. And you can see the distance here, we're coming up on the city of Port Huron as well as the Blue Water Bridge. As the Congresswoman said, this is a major shipping lane. Our mission is to keep commercial traffic moving through the winter time. And you know, with this especially harsh winter, you can see we're surrounded by ice here in Lake Huron. So you know, we're out here doing the mission and keeping these tracks fresh to keep commercial commerce moving.
Commander, could you tell us, now you use the term brash, can you tell us what brash ice means, and then what is the difference between ice in the Great Lakes and freshwater as opposed to what the Coast Guard would run into, for instance, in a mission in the Arctic?
Certainly, ma'am. So brash ice is ice that has been previously broken by an icebreaker that's refrozen. It's a little bit looser, more of a rubble consistency compared to the flat plate ice that you would see freshly formed and you could ice skate on in a lake. Now, compared to saltwater ice, say in the Arctic or Antarctic, freshwater ice is generally harder, but in the Great Lakes we see new ice every winter. The challenge they face in the Arctic or Antarctic is you have saltwater ice, but that forms over many years, so that multi-year ice tends to build up thicker and harder as well.
Now, do you have any, your best guesstimate? Nobody knows with Mother Nature, but what we might be anticipating in the spring here as the thaw comes, as far as any ice jams that might be in the St. Clair River or impacting Lake St. Clair?
So, part of our challenge is ice management. Here in the Lake Huron Cut, there's a bridge of ice that naturally forms and keeps parts of the St. Clair River ice-free. So one of our challenges is to preserve that ice bridge so we don't have all of this ice flushing on the river at once. Our goal is to keep most of the ice in place until the spring and let it naturally degrade in place. However, the St. Clair River does have natural choke points down by Algonac in the southeast bend.
Right. Parsons Island.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll work those throughout the winter to keep the tracks open and keep vessels moving through there unimpeded as well.
Very good. Commander, we really appreciate your hospitality here today, and certainly on behalf of a very grateful nation, we thank you and the men and women of the Coast Guard for everything that you do to keep us safe and keep our economy going.
Thank you for being on board, Congresswoman, and thanks for your support of the Coast Guard as well.
Well, you know, I always say about the Coast Guard, if it's wet and impossible, send in the Coast Guard because they'll handle it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.